Oh, everybody can hear me, right?
Yep.
Able to hear my voice?
Yes,
Yes.
Vanita.
I can hear everybody. Okay. How is the sound now? Is that
Yes,
okay?
we can hear you.
Awesome. Okay, sorry for the delay. We will start the class with a prayer. Close your eyes, palms together, seek the blessing from your Guru voices. And simple word and slowly open your eyes. Okay, as we are going with same Majnika, first thing we are going to start with the Gocharam, followed by our horoscope lessons, ending up with the horoscope discussion. Okay, the same thing. Let me check the recording is going. Okay, awesome. Mangal in the okay. Mangal in the Rishabha, Surya in the Mithuna, Guru Shukran in the Kadaka, Ketu in the Simha, Chandra in the Brakshika, Rahu in the Kumbha, Sani in the Meena. Okay. As usual, we have to see the king and the queen. King is in the Mithuna Rasi, that is Surya in the Mithuna. When you're moving forward, we are passing 1 month to the next. If you see the last month, the last week, we are seeing the sun is over here. Now 1 month finished, the next month we are going to Mithuna Rasi. So this month we call it as the Mithuna month, because the sun was here. This is the point. The people's health gradually becomes better, and it's reached the highest peak here. And the health of the peoples may be predominantly good till here. When the starting point of the Kanya, then going towards the Veena, the health a little bit slowly getting down, and the people may get sick, feeling that. Okay? This is the point that the people may get very healthy at this moment. Okay, now let's see about the queen, that is Chandra. Okay, here. Today is a very interesting point. Why? Chandra in the Vrikshika Rasi is debilitated. So in another words, Chandra will lose its energy. The the energy of the moon will not be fully consumed by humans in this dimension. The people who are having the Vrikshika Rasi, Vrikshika Lagna, or the Vrikshika Rasi becomes the 8th house or 6th house or 12th house. Today is the best day to see themselves or to analyze themselves. If they are fully aware, they can able to understand themselves fully clearly, how they behave, how they are, what they want, how they want to become. Everything they can understand this particular day, because when they move on in their in the birth chart, the moon and the gocharam is also in the Vakshika Rasi. It is the moon over the moon. Best day to understand themselves. Okay. Well, now let's see about the Panjam of today. Okay. From here onwards, we are going to add the 2 more points, that is the sunrise and the moonrise. Why we need to know this? For India, this is the most of the time. The average timing is 6 a.m. 6 a.m. to 6:30 a.m. Definitely the sun will rise. Okay. Sometimes it between the 5:50 to 6:30 the sun will rise. An average time. Most of the time, the people will say it is a 6 a.m. in the morning in India mostly. But this is also differ from different parts of India. The people who lives near to the mountain, the sunrise will get delayed. It depends upon where we are going. The moonrise, why we need to understand the moonrise? So for this point in time in this modern world, the people are not able to do any kind of rituals, or the people's not able to start the specific rhythm or other steps particularly. For them, the sunrise and the moonrise is so much essential. The people they stop the Pratham or they want to start the Pratham, the sunrise and the moonrise will become the starting and the ending. So why we need to know now? Okay, before the sunrise, if you we'll talk about the Brahma Muhurtam some other time. That is it falls around 4:30 to 4:30 in the morning, based on the sunrise only. Okay, we'll definitely talk about this Brahma Muhurtam in different timing, in great detail only. Okay, right now we concentrate only on the sunrise and the moonrise. The peoples who do for the, you may heard about his art here. There is a famous joke around the Nityananda also when he does the sun Artya, that one particular scene becomes the greatest company in the world. Okay, leave the jokes apart. But when the sunrise, before the sunrise, little bit, few minutes before, when you do the sun prayer to the sun, that gives a tremendous energy. Particularly the people who born on the Tula Lagna or the Tula Rasi, if they pray to the sun god or meditate on over the sun, feeling that the golden light of an energy spread across their body, it penetrates into every cells of their body. It gives a tremendous energy, particularly for the Tula Lagna people. Anybody can see why I'm mentioning only about the Tula Lagna? And that too, the sun meditation.
Because Saturn is strong. That's
Saturn is?
No,
Sun is
Nicha.
debilitated in
Sun is
Tula.
debilitated. Yes, sun is
Sun
debilitated.
is debilitated.
Most of the time, the Tula Lagna people will suffer the deficiency of the sun. They may ended up with eyesight problem. They may ended up with whatever the deficiency which is caused by the sun. These people will carry on in their gene itself, one or the other. But particularly for these people, before the sunrise, they do the meditation. It gives a greatest benefit. How, I'm not sure whether I said this or not. The people who born on the Amavas or the Paurnami, if they do the meditation, it gives a tremendous energy, tremendous power. Same goes for this Tula Lagna people. If they do the sun meditation in particular way, they will get the sun's energy. It consumes the sun's energy. That's it exactly.
Vanita, one question here. Say the person has Tula Lagna, but sun is in his own house. Will they still have those problems?
It won't. It won't, because the graha which is in the Rasi, that takes the priority. But if it was a Tula Lagna, the Lagna plays the biggest role. If in the Lagna any graha was there?
No.
If there was no graha, then if the sun was placed in its own house, the story will definitely differ. But internally, but the base, what is the base here? The base is the Kala Purusha chart. On the Kala Purusha, the Tula Lagna, sun was debilitated. One or the other way, the sun's deficiency will be there. But that's why the peoples will generally say Tula Lagna people do the sun meditation. If the people is not suffered with any kind of the deficiency, they don't need to do that because their inbuilt energy was balanced. They don't need to do that. Every Lagna people, they have the imbalance in their body, one or the other. Okay. But particularly for this Tula Lagna people, this will happen in general. This is the general statement. But if the Graha was superly placed and auspiciousness was increased in your Jataka, the story was entirely different. Check yourself. If the deficiency was high, what is the deficiency here? You may have the eyesight problem. You may have the problem with your father. The peoples who are in your highest status, they may not get in line with your you or vision. You may get disturbed with the peoples who are higher than you. Your administrative skills was not that much good. Anything which is relevant with the sun, if you have the problem. Particularly, it will definitely the Tula Lagna people one or the other way coming up, ending up into this circle. There are some lucky people. They're exceptional. That's what I'm saying. The exceptional peoples are there. Then you don't need to consider. you enjoy your life and you do whatever you. But this is the sun meditation is too much enjoyable in every way. Particularly, this is good for these people. Okay, now let's moving into the moonrise. The people who born on the Vriksha Rasi, that means the sun was completely debilitated. These people, when they do the meditation on the moon, they get a tremendous energy. Particularly, now the Paurnami is on tomorrow, right? It's on Monday, 29 to 30. Particularly the Vrishchiga Rasi people, if they do the meditation on the moon, that's why the moon rise and the moon set is important. In between these turning, we do the meditation, particularly on the Purnima. The moon's energy is really high. And when these people are trying to do the meditation, what kind of the meditation? You have the terrace, or if the moonlight can fall upon your balcony, or at least in your some moonlight can spread on your body. You sit on the grace of the moonlight for 10 to 15 minutes. You can possibly go from 30 minutes to 40 minutes. It's more than enough. This is the best study. The people do the ritual for the moon. We heard about this. The people will have the in Tamil we call it as a Nila Chove. That means on the Paurnami day, on the full Paurnami day, the people will gather under the moon and they have the dinner under the moonlight. Why they need to do that? Because when the moonlight falls upon your food or water, the grace of the moonlight will imbibe in your food, and that will enhance and empower your body and the energy. Particularly stabilize the mind. The imbalance of the mind will be stabilized, and that too it was coming on tomorrow. To do the moon meditation, that is good. That's why we need to do when the moon was rising, when the moon was set. Okay? Particularly these people mainly for to do their meditation, to do the rituals, chanting, and the sunrise and moonrise is definitely. Okay, now sorry. Let's see about the Panja. These of the Chavudasi till next day morning, 3 a.m. and followed by the Purnima. This is the best Purnima. Some people will call it as a starberry Purnima. But every full moon will have its own power. Because on this month, the Mithuna month Purnami will be different from the next month or previous month Purnima. Every full moon has a different energy also. Okay? Nakshatra is the Jeshta, followed by the Moolam. Yoga is the Shubha and Shukla. Karana is the Garaja, Vanija, and the Vishnu. It is a Ravivara, Paksha is the Sukla. Now let's move into Kalapurshasar. You should not forget this. This is the base of our learning. And whenever you find time, even if you are doing the horoscope, whenever you do the horoscope reading, keep this aside. That will be helpful in every week. Okay? Most of the time, when you do the horoscope, the one thing you will find difficult was the basic point you will forget. You may remember all kind of the higher points and the advanced points and this, that tricks, everything you will remember. But you may forgot one basic thing that is regarding about the Kalapurshasar. Okay? That one point, all of you are understanding and everything will be mislead and you will find out very difficult to read the horoscope itself. The one point in time when how much the Kalapurshasar is important. If you go and see any of the horoscope reader, then the very first point, if they tell which is correct, then the trust will develop, right? There was one person I really respect him a lot. And when I go and see my horoscope, and this person was telling me that the very first sentence was super failure, and followed by every sentence I have to be correcting him every moment. The one thing I understand at that point was they forgot the base thing. Even though they know everything. I'm not saying he didn't understand the horoscope and he didn't know he knows very well. But here the point is, The base point is easily forgotten. Okay, should not forget this. And this point is also remembering for me also. I should not also forget. Should keep the Kalapurusha chart every said every time whenever you read the Parashah. Now we are learning about the 12th Lord. How the Lagna is important, that much the 12th Lord is important. The 12th Lord will give you different perspective, different knowledge altogether. What kind of the liberation one should attain? Or are they stepping into the liberation or not? Or they had the mindset or the liberation won't comes to you in one lifetime or second time lifetime. There are the greatest souls, there are the pure souls in the world. They attain in the one or two lifetimes itself. But most of the people, out of 199 people, will go through number of the lifetimes. So during that lifetimes, the 12th house will tell you, or the moksha comes into your thought process, or the moksha is stepping into first step. The liberation is in the process. They enter into the liberation. They are going into the liberated mode. Everything you can see in the 12th house. And importantly, it tells about your sleeping habit, or you able to sleep peacefully, or you the sleep will be break every moment, and then or there are the people who sleep with open eyes, and how much can contribute to the society as a donation, as an investment. Specifically, this is also tells about your subconscious mind. How deeply you can think, how deeply can you touch your subconscious. In your earlier stage of your life, the child was always in the subconscious. That's why it was so purest and pure. But when you when you grow up, the people will contaminate it with the surroundings and every other environment. That's why the most of the time the subconscious will be not easily accessible. The 12th Lord is or 12th house also tells about your deep thinking, meditation, importantly towards a liberation step. And are you able to settle in your foreign, particularly this is gives exact detail about your expenditure. In which way your expenditure will be carried out. In simple words, if your 12th house having any graph, your most of the biggest expense go to that relation only. There is no doubt about. Check and see in your 12th house, if any graha was present. For example, you have Mars in it, okay? Definitely your biggest expense will goes to your siblings one or the other way. You may say, no, I don't have a sibling. Okay, then you may think somebody else is your sibling. Yeah. One or the other way, the expenditure will go in that fashion. If your 12th house is not good, then you may have sleepless nights. You may not properly sleep. The sleep is a really question. Good sleep is a question for you. And it also tells about your bed pleasure. How it's ayana bhuvistha. How do you sleep? How is your pleasure? And what kind of the pleasure will attend. So all defined in your 12th house. That Lord, we are going to see in every house. So what are the things you can easily remember? It's about the liberation, expenditure, Saya, sugar. 12th Lord in first house in simple word. These peoples were full of energy. These people are full of energy, and definitely they will have the foreign residence. And let's go. 12th Lord in the second house. Mostly these people are sweet talkers and charismatic representation. And additionally they're fond of delicious food. Okay? I guess I told you this earlier also. More time I'm repeating. If you are talking, imagine this is Kadaga is your Lagna and 12th house is the Mithuna. So for the 12th house, Lagna becomes your second house. The 11th house becomes the 12th house for the 12th house. There is no confusion here, right? For the 12th house, your Lagna becomes the second house. Okay. For the 12th house, 11th house becomes the 12th house. So why we need to understand this? If you are reading about the 12th house, if you are reading about any one of the houses in your chart, you should understand what is the house in front of you, what is the house in back of you. Okay? That will give you the different perspective. Why? This becomes the Vyayasthana for the 12th house. This becomes the Dhanasthana for the 12th house. Okay? The logic will be a little bit confusing, but when you practice again and again, it will come easy. So how we can easily understand this one? Till now, what we learned, the Lagna is you, and the second house becomes the Dhanasthana. What is that meaning? For the Jataka, for the first house of the Jataka, the second house becomes the Dhanasthana, right? Now, what we are reading, we are going little bit one step deeper. For the Kadaka Lagna, 12th house becomes the Mithuna. For the Mithuna, 12th house is the Mithuna Rasi. The Kadaka becomes the second house for the 12th house. And the Rishabha becomes the 12th house for the 12th house. A little bit confusing, but when you practice again and again, it becomes the habit. Okay, why we need to understand this? This will give you the different perspective. This will make more clarification while you're reading. Okay. So what are the things we have to be understand? First thing, the Kalapurusha chart, that how to be keep that in your mind all the time. Then the birth chart and the Gocharam. Gocharam, you may want to clarify something you can write, but the back of the mind, Kalapurusha chart will be in your mind. And this is the another layer. When you're reading your birth chart, what is the house in front of you? What is the house which I'm reading? It's the back. Then we are going with an aspects and other stuff. Okay. Now, for the 12th Lord in the third house, these people are frequent travelers. There are higher possibility they can reside in overseas. For the 12th Lord in the fourth house, most of the time they have strong influence from their mother and they are great counselor also. Okay, 12th Lord in the fifth house. These people will have the very great creative mind, and these people have many things in they put their knowledge in different areas and they try to become very knowledgeable in that also. Because of that, they drain energy for the multitasking. When you see the 12th Lord in the fifth house, the one advice you can give you is suggestion. You can give you is don't do multitask. Do one task at a time. But by nature, the inbuilt quality of these people, they do the multitasking. They can't able. It's an for them it was a nature. Ask them to do one task at a time. Their mind will be stabilized. They do the work very well. Okay, now let's see about the 12th Lord in the 6th house. So Viparita Raja Yoga, extraordinary luck will brings. Particularly, they will get the financial goal. 12th Lord in the 7th house. Possibly higher possibility. Love marriage is the highest possibility. Okay, now let's see about the 12th Lord in the 8th house. Again, it's a Viparita Raja Yoga. And this all the sweet tongue peoples and highly devoted and dedicated. And this Viparita Raja Yoga won't come in as easy for them. They have to be overcome number of obstacles. Then they will go through a greater success in their life. Now let's see about the 12th Lord in the 9th house. These people are very honest and philosophical in nature. Okay? That's all about the revision of the last week. Now let's go over today's horoscope lesson. Okay. Now, 12th Lord in the 10th house. 12th Lord, what is a 12th Lord? 12th house is about your liberation, expenditure, foreign settlement, displacement, imprisonment. It's a Moksha-sthana, INS, goals. Everything will be defined in the 12th house. That Lord. sitting in the 10th house. What is the 10th house is for? Is for your career, your image, professional life completely, and how the world sees you as a person. As a person, you may think differently, right? But how the world sees you, that is defined in the 10th. Now the 12th house, the 12th Lord was sitting in the 10th house. I don't know how to read this. If we find time, we read this. This is the real follower of some principle. I don't want to take a risk to read this. So I leave it to you all to read the statement. Okay? Now let's see about the 12th Lord in the 10th house. These people are great leaders. Because the 12th Lord is also involved, the divine nature will comes as a byproduct of it. And this, they all the time they think about the spirituality, they want to move forward in the divinity. This becomes the greatest leader because of the 12th law, the spirituality comes into place. In the 10th house, the greatest leader comes into place, combined together, they becomes the divine gifted leader. When the 12th Lord was involved and the 10th house was combined together in any other relation, it belongs to one relation, it belongs to an aspect of Gratha combination, then the commitment and dedication, as you have to remember those two statements. 12 and the 10 combined together will give you the commitment and the dedication. These people have so much followers. There are a number of the people can able to follow them because they are the greatest leaders in the world. And this is because the 12th Lord is involved, and that too combined with the 10th. Is it easy for them to achieve the greatest success? No. Because when the 12th Lord is involved, there is an hardest base which also comes in front of. But is there eligible to walk in the path of the very hard and the long way? Yes, they have that kind of an energy. If some other Lord was sitting in the 10th house and the 12th Lord was sitting in the 10th house, what is the difference? They have that potential, they had that energy. One of the hidden house Lord, particularly the 12th Lord was sitting in the 10th house means they have a tremendous energy. Their mind and body potential was highly different from other people's. That's why they can able to walk very far path. Even if it was very difficult for them, a number of obstacles was in front of them. When the 12th Lord was involved, the obstacle is also in front of. It's not an easiest way. But is it able to achieve the position and status? Absolutely yes. They can able to attain that. Okay. Anybody having 12th Lord in 10th house? Okay. The greatest example here is the Swami Vivekananda. Everybody knows about him. Need to explain that. And this belongs to the Tamil Nadu, Jayalalitha ma'am. And I don't know about him and Albert Einstein. We're going to find. Particularly these people, the 12th Lord in the 10th. Okay. There are some other peoples in our circle. I don't know everybody here. Let's move on. And some more examples. And I'm skipping the part of an examples. Please try to find and read about these peoples. 12th Lord in the 11th house. Whenever the 11th house is involved, is an easiest way to do. Why? The 11th house is an auspicious group. Define about your luck, define about your profit, gain, and it's also about your inner sibling. And it's an easiest house to read. It's going to tell you about what kind of the desire you are going to fulfill in this lifetime. And the 12th house, we already know about it. It is for the liberation, Mokshasthana, Aina Saina Bhuvasthana, and the displacement, imprisonment, everything comes under the 12th house. The expenditure particularly. That Lord was sitting in the 11th house. So there was a connection between the 12 and the 11. there is a connection between the 12 and the 11. 12th Lord in the 11th house. So this is not the 12th house, this is the 11th house. It's defined about the 11th house only, fulfillment of the desires, profit gains and cash flow, wealth and health resilience. It's all about the 11th house. And here the 12th Lord was sitting. How these people is going to behave? They are very social and harmonious in nature. That comes as a byproduct of me. Most of the time, these people won't confront people. They want to meet, they want to maintain the diplomacy in every way. Most of the time, even if you see the Mars highly significant person, they won't take anything in a modest way. They want to put everything in a confront. They want to confront everybody and find a solution. But when the 12th Lord in the 11th house, it was total opposite. They want to make it as very, very diplomatic. They want to make it as very smooth. Why this was coming? Because the patient was comes and the 12th Lord, when the 12th Lord is coming, the spirituality divine comes into the place as wherever the 12th Lord was involved, and that way was in the 11th house. They have the enormous patience comes as the in the natural behavior. You see the nervous system also, for these peoples, they won't get agitated very easily. If you see the peoples who have the Mars significance and highly more of the Mars energy person, how we can easily identify them? The Pitta energy level is really high, and mostly these peoples are kind of golden color. There you can easily identify the Mars significant person. And they can't able to hold that energy. They agitate very easily. They confront very easily. They had the kind of mental attitude. Whenever I try to confront, I will find a solution, because that was the energy was like the kind of Murugan energy, Lord Murugan energy. You may heard about many stories about Lord Murugan. He was a wonderful warrior, fierceful, wonderful warrior. And he conquered everything in the world. And he was still young as long as he was here. But he don't have that kind of a patience. Like when compared to Ganesha, Ganesh was very soft and calm, and he achieved whatever he wants, even if he's sitting in even sitting in one place. But when compared to Muruga, it was not like that. But when the 12th Lord in 11th house means, they have enormous patience. They smoothly handle. If they try to invest in anything, their profit and gains won't never fail. Whenever they try to make a gain from any of the investment, it won't fall through. Well, definitely one step ahead. Okay. Whenever there are the 12th Lord is involved, there are the few things you have to remember. First thing is 12th Lord involvement, obstacles is in front of you. There is no doubt about it. What are the other things? The delays is also in front of you. The obstacles may comes in a way, come as a delay, as you may not able to achieve that part. Your desire will have a number of obstacles. Whenever the 12th round was involved, the two main characters you have to remember. The delay will be as a byproduct, or when the 12th round was there, the obstacles will be in front of you. Most of the time, these peoples will become the profound luck, creativity, speculation, and risk. Okay, here is the tip. 12th Lord in the 11th house, why the profound luck, speculation, risk will come? Okay, this one you have to answer and find an answer and tell me. We discuss in some other bhava, some other Lord in different bhavas. That time I explain in detail also. Find an answer for this. This is the 12th Lord in 11th house, right? What is it? Why we need to have the creativity, speculation, and risk coming here? Anybody having the 12th Lord in 11th house?
Vanita, I have.
You have the sermon, right? I have it.
Yeah.
His Lagna is Kanya Lagna. 12th Lord is Sun. Sun was in 11th house. And the Sun was in the 11th house. Let's go here. Wait, which one is exactly matching? Which one is?
Yeah, the harmonious part is true.
Give me 1 minute. 2 minutes. 1 minute. Let me- Hmm.
Not really very social, but the harmonious part is true. Modest and non-confrontational true. Third, patience is also true.
Wait a second. Wait a second. Can you repeat from the beginning?
The harmonious part is true. Do look for
Hmm.
harmony. I'm not really very social, but
Hmm.
if I am in a group, I try to be of some use to the group.
Kind of a neutral, right?
Neutral, yeah.
Hmm.
Modest and non-confrontation, true. Enormous patience, true.
Hmm.
Invested resource, never fail. That's also true.
Hmm.
Delayed but not denied. I don't know. It's only a delay. Deny, I will probably have to see in another 10 years. Profound luck and creativity, not true.
Now let's see about his heart. When this is little bit when we read about his 11th house, we'll see in a very greater detail. But at this moment, why some of the things was matching, some of it's not. And most of the time, if you see this, the sun was combined with the sun, the Kadagarasi, which is having the sun, Mercury, Saturn, and Venus. More than 3 planets. It's 4 planets together at one place. This, I really wonder if he says no, everything was wrong, I can totally believe him. Why? Because when the number of the grahas was combined in one rasi, that will negate most of the rules, and it will going to give you one gender, only one or the other statements that will you will really wonder. Most of the time, the exceptional rules will come when number of the grahas present in one rasi. And this is the greatest time to study. If there was only 2 grahas, Sun and Mercury, we can easily tell there is a kind of Sun and Mercury, whatever the combinations is going to give you, that is the end result of one. Here the story was different. How Sun Mercury combination, Mercury Saturn combination, Saturn and the Venus combination. So then you have to study this one, second and the third combination. Okay, now we read about this is the 11th house. We have the 3 combination. First priority, these 3 combination going to work for his 11th house. Then the next priority, what are the aspect we have to see, that is the second priority. Then the third one, okay, beyond all these things, Dasha Buddhi will happen. When that was happening, then you have to understand the Kala process chart also. When you combine it together, it will nullify most of the rules. We have to find out what are the exceptions. Then we derive an answer from out of it. Okay? When we study his 11th house, we'll go into a greater detail about this. Okay? This is really a wonderful chart to read. I read one of the chart which is having the 5 grahas in one rasi, that is in the main rasi. I tried to find that chart, I couldn't find. If I find the chart, I will give you as an example. That was really wonderful to read. Whatever you are trying to say, that person will say, no, I'm not like that, I'm not like that, I'm not like that. Then you will understand why all the 5 grahas will do its job beautifully. Okay? Anybody who's having 12th Lord in 11th house? Okay, let's be 1, 2. Okay, wonderful combination. This is the best and best. Ravishankar Guru. And he have this kind of the harmony, even if his work and every other stuff you can see, the harmony is in, maybe is an inbuilt with them, I would say. The other people who have we move over them. Okay, now let's see about the 12th Lord in the 12th house. Okay, here I have to tell you one thing. 12th Lord in the 12th house, the some other time, one more combination will come. We'll read about this 12th Lord in 12th house, and I will tell you about them. One exception it is. Twelfth Lord, 12th house, we already know it is the Sayana Sutta, that is the pleasures in the bed, with sleeping habits, sleeping entirely tells about yours. Okay? It also tells about your spirituality, it also tells about your moksha. Are you stepping into the liberation path or not? Your displacement, foreign settlement, imprisonment, everything it will be expenditure, first of all, it defined in the 12th. 12th Lord in the 12th house, again, Viparita Raj Yoga. Why? One of the Dushtana Lord sitting in one of the Dushtana. So that is the Viparita Raj Yoga. Simple thing, Viparita Raj Yoga means the yoga won't come in and comes in the easiest way. It comes always in a difficulty. But that difficulty, the person who's suffering won't feel it as a difficult. Because he or she have that kind of the tremendous energy inside him. When the 12th Lord sitting in the 12th house means the relevant energy, the default energy will comes to him. Okay. We already know about it. What is the 12th house means? When what is that going to give you? It's going to give you the silence to the okay, here is an interesting thing. These people will, when they try to sleep, when they close their eyes, that's it. They're done for the day and they're going into the sleeping mode. The spiritually and liberated souls. Okay, here is the thing. They are spiritual, they are moving most of the time, their thought process, their thinking process, their subconscious always towards the spirituality. And they are going to liberated souls. They are almost at the end of the liberation. Okay? Most of the time, they have the kind of an energy or the kind of liberty, I would say. They have an ability to spend. This is the one thing you can able to see. They have this ability. It comes in one or the other. You can't see a people when the 12th Lord in the 12th house, they don't have a scarcity in the spending. They definitely have an ability to spend it. Okay? And how these people when they try to give, how the people will what this Jataka will feel, they are pleasure in giving. They want to give more and more. If they in one day they give 10 means the next day they will give 20. It goes on like that. They feel that kind of the interesting thing while giving to others. Most of the time, these people want to travel, or most of the time, they won't live in their native place. At least they will live away from the native place or far away country is the higher possible. Okay. In simple words, 12th Lord in the 12th house is the very best thing. If you see the people who say, when the 12th Lord in the 12th house, everybody was saying Raj Yoga and I didn't attend anything, and whatever the things you are saying, it's not coming to me. I didn't have a sleep and I don't have any money to spend. This, that, all, they will tell you, they will list you everything they suffer. The one simplest suggestion is ask them to find a way to go out from their native place. If they are living in their native place, they try to find the peace in their mind, they won't. The best thing is ask them to travel, ask them to find a place where they can away from their native place, then they will find all the kind of stuff. They can able to sleep very well, they have the ability to spend, and they find the pleasure giving also. Okay. Anybody having 12th Lord in 12th house? Okay. Here is one tricky thing will come whenever you see the horoscope. There is the Parivardhana also, right? You may heard about this. Everybody can remember that words, right? Parivardhana. Yes, no?
Yes. Yes, yes, yes.
And what is that?
Swapping places.
Swap.
Swapping the
Swapping.
places.
Swapping places. So swapping. Okay. So imagine a situation. Now I have a Saturn, Mercury here. Okay. Now you have a Saturn. Is this Parivardhana was happening or not?
Yes.
Yes. No?
Yes.
Yes.
When the Dasha Buddhi was happening, and this Parivardhana is also happening already in your chart, and you will have the kind of the same effect. Somebody will say, no, it won't be like that. This is not considered, it's not considered the Viparita Rajyoga. But some of the time, they have the most of the qualities, but still then you have to read the chart carefully. Is the Dasha Buddhi was happening, the Parivardhana was happening in the chart, and whenever that was happening, which takes the priority over, and you will finally analyze and you will derive an answer. Most of the time, just one tricky point you have to understand whenever you do the horoscope. The Parivardhana will entirely twist your reading. It will end. You may read the entirely horoscope and it ends finally well. You put on all these points. And, okay, I'm done my reading. At the end of the day, you missed one point. The Parivardhana is missing, and they will tell you everything regarding with Mercury in the 12th house and the Saturn in the 4th house, and you will really get confused. This is totally not possible. How come this is possible? And this Dasha Buddhi was happening, and how come this is possible? Then you read one more time, you will understand that the Parivardhana, the Dasha Buddhi, and the Gocharam, everything comes into place, and thus takes an. The one point you may definitely, sometimes you may miss, sometimes you won't. Okay. That's why we have to pray before reading the horoscope. You have to pray all your Kula Devata and all your Ishta Devata, and all your guides and guardians, and all your teachers, God and goddesses, to give the kind of the relevant guidance in your life. Okay, this is all about
One doubt. See, now you talked about the Parivartana, but now I want to ask if the 12th Lord is also the owner of the same house. Like, for example, if the 12th Lord is Kataka, let us assume that. So that is the moon is the owner of that house, right? Kataka.
is in the Kadaka.
Yeah. So the 12th house being this thing and Lagna is Simha and the moon staying in the 12th house itself. So does that have any kind of a effect on the chart?
Okay, here's the thing.
And the 12th house Lord is also the moon without any planets.
So there was two questions, right? Let's see about the first one.
Yeah.
The 12th Lord is
In the owner in the
the
same
12th Lord. So here you have a moon or no?
moon.
You have
That is what there's a moon there.
okay,
If
there is a
Simha and moon is there, I have one chart. So the moon is also in Kataka, which is a 12th house, and he's also the owner.
okay.
So does that have anything on what we have talked, or exactly it will follow the same?
Okay, here is interesting thing. When the 12th Lord in the 12th house, whatever it is going to do, that is because the Graha which is placed in the Rasi that takes to the priority.
Yeah.
Work. Okay. When the moon is in moon house, it has a kind of a potential. But what is moon is in moon house, that's have is one tick mark is good, it's auspicious, is increased. Awesome. It's in its moon house. But what's the house, it's a hidden house. So the energy which is given by the moon was partially diminished. In other words, it was completely diminished. So when these peoples, when the 12th house lord was the moon was in the 12th house moon, when these peoples go do the moon meditation, consumes the moon's energy, they will really flourish well. And importantly, these people go for an yatra, which is for yatra means here they have to dip into the holy rivers and they come out. And particularly this one, the Kadaka Rasi, which is also, you remember what is the element of this Rasi?
Water.
Water, right? The
Yeah.
people who, particularly this one, the water element involved, and when they go for yatra and they dip into holy river, they get the tremendous energy. You may heard about these peoples. I dip in the sea water, I get my energy back. And some other people will say, no, I dip into this holy river, my energy was completely gotten back. How come this is possible? Because they gain their energy in the kind of a different places. There are the other peoples who have to be stare at the sky only. They get the tremendous energy. There are some peoples, they have to be walk on the earth. Who have to work on the earth? The people who have the diminished earth element. They have to work on the earth. If the air element was diminished, then they have to look over the sky, stare the sky. That's it. They don't need to do anything. They stare the sky. And when this kind of the things, when they dip into the holy river, that's why in the early days, they had the kind of the practice in their day-to-day life itself. Once in a year, they go to the yatra. Yatra means they move to even they walk Padayatra only. They walk they walk barefoot and they dip into the river wherever they see. How it is going to benefit them? See, every district which is having its own preference, own unique earth elements. If you see in Tamil Nadu, one place which is having a different energy, that energy will be, the pond is also having that kind of an energy. Why? Because the kind of the plant and the trees which is grow on the earth, and if you have the river on that place also, it also holds that energy. For example, if I dip the river in the Vaigi river in the Madurai, that is entirely different from which I dip the river in the Trichy. Why? Because the both are having the different kind of an earth element. See, earth element only, but the plants which is grow, the soil, the density and the quality of the soil was totally different. Okay, come back here. So when you have this kind of the chart, these people's will, the moon's energy will be a little bit diminished because of the 12th the house. But every other things will comes into their place. You have the sign, because the one Lord is going to give you that kind of. But the people will say, no, I didn't have a sleepless night. Then the best thing is go and take a bath before you sleep. And imagine you dipping into the Ganga water. Then you go to the sleep. Most of the time, knowingly or unknowingly, their mind will get into the spirituality. The people also, no, I don't like, I'm not believing in God, other things, and I don't have this, that. Okay, first, okay, cool down, the time will come. The spirituality will definitely hit your spot and you will bloom from that, there onwards. Okay? Here is the thing, the liberator stones will tell you 12th Lord in the 12th house. You no need to touch them also. They bloom on their own. If you heard about the Shivananda, his guru will only taught him for 1 hour in this lifetime. This lifetime when he take a birth, his guru was come and teach him for 1 hour and few hours only. The other disciples are asking why your guru only was teaching only few hours. And the guru was telling, no, he knows that kind of a knowledge. I need to tweak him here and there only. Like this, these souls are already in a liberated mood. Even they telling so many things, that time will come and they will blossom like anything. Okay?
Thanks. So just
And
as
you,
what it would be like. That's it.
And you said one more example also, right?
No,
What is that?
What I said. That's the only one chart I have. So I just was curious because moon being the same house lord, just wanted to check on it. That's the
The simple logic, you remember this. Whenever there was the hidden house was involved, the energy consumption by the Jataka will be drastically reduced.
okay.
How you can compensate that? What is the remedies will be tell you. You are trying to compensate the energy. If you see in the Panchabhuta Sthalam for the Shivan Sthalam, what is guy trying to do? If your earth element was, if the earth element was not in your body, if you go to that temple, you will gain that energy. But how you can gain that energy? You just step into a temple and next 10 minutes you out of the temple, you won't gain it. Okay? At least you have to be there for 2 hours. More than 2 hours is compulsory and it's necessary, because that is the moment your element will be regains energy, regenerate into the new state. But if you are not giving that amount of energy and coming out of it immediately to me, then the people will say, no, either it was a long queue, how can I stand in there? No need to be in the standing the queue and before the Garbhagriha. You stay there inside the temple. The temple energy was highly energetic, because if you go to the temple which is having the 4 times puja or 5 times, 6 times puja, that kind of the traditional temples, the energy level was highly maintained even between the main doors. Inside the main doors, there was the boundary, right? Inside their boundaries, the energy will be balanced and maintained. And if you stay there for 2 hours, the element which is imbalanced in your body, which is the, but in between, what are the things you should not do? You should not think about every other thing. You should not touch your mobile and chat with everybody and gossip about everything. Sit. And then the surroundings and the environment will take place and workshop. And this one you can easily understand if you are trying to do the Vipassana yoga, then you will understand the same scenario, but when you work on yourself. That is the kind of a different environment. Everything was set and you are going to enjoy that. But the same kind of an environment in your dating life also, but you have to put some effort. You have to go to the temple, spend some time. You have to be disciplined yourself, try not to touch the mobile. That is the greatest effort you put. Once that was all done, then the element will be balanced. Okay, then
Thank you.
Yeah. All the lords in the different houses, we finished. Going to start today's horoscope again. Saravanan, your full name is Saravanan only, right?
Yeah. My first name is Saravanan, yes.
Then see, start. His date of birth is 20th July 1976. If anything I'm mistaken, please tell me right away.
No, it's fine.
So he wrote in 11:30. So Lagna is the Kanya Lagna. Let's see about his chart. Lagna is the Kanya Lagna. So now tell me which is this Rashi. Lagna is the Kanya Lagna. We'll read about this star later. It's a Hasta Nakshatra. We'll read about this Lagna Nakshatra and every graha have to be placed in one nakshatra. We will read about later. Now this is the Lagna, Kanya Lagna. Rashi is the 8th. In moon was in the 8th house. Which Rashi it is?
Mesha.
Mesha. Okay, so the moon is in the Mesha Rashi along with the Ketu. So what are the few things we have to remember? Lagna is the Kanya Lagna. Who's the Lord? Mercury. Mercury is in which place? Mercury is in the 11th. The first thing, Lagna. Lagna is the moon graha in it. Owner is the Mercury. Mercury is in the 11th house. And is any other graha was aspecting the Lagna?
Guru is
Okay,
aspecting the
And
Lagna.
Ketu. Moon and
Saturn
Ketu.
is aspecting the Lagna.
That is aspecting Lagna. And Ketu is aspecting how come?
No, sorry. That's wrong. Ketu, this one, no? Tula it is.
Lagna is the Kanya.
Yeah.
Kanya.
Yeah, I'm wrong.
Any other thing? Okay. Now, when we read about the first house on the next week, you have to remember the Lagna is aspected by the Jupiter. And the Saturn is also, Saturn is also aspecting the Lagna. Both the things you have to remember, but there was no Graha in it. But the owner which is placed in the 11th house. You have to keep that in remember whenever we're reading about the first house. Okay, now let's see about the Kendra. Before that, Rasi. Rasi, how you can find wherever the moon which is placed, we have to consider that as the Rasi. So the Lagna is based on your sun placement on the day when he was born. And the Rasi is placed on the placement of the moon. The moon is in the 8th house, which is the Mesharas. The first thing we have to remember, Kanya Lagna, Mesharas. So for the Lagna, aspecting the house Jupiter and the Saturn, there was no Graha in the Lagna. So till now, is this okay?
Yes.
Okay. Now let's see about the Kendra. Kendra was here. What is that? This is the first house, Kanya. Then the Dhanur. For him, whenever there was a corner Rasi was there, you can easily to find out the Kendra. So, for Kanya, 4th house was Dhanur, this one. And the 7th house for Meena. And this one is the 10th. Okay. What is the interesting thing you can see here?
No planets. Anyway.
No Graha was present. Okay. In the 1, 4, 7, 10, there was no Graha was present. So you have to remember this. Whenever you read the horoscope, what are the things you have to remember? Lagna, any Graha present in who's the owner? Mercury. Mercury was in the 11th house. Keep that in mind. Rashi. Rashi was in the 8th house. Mesha Rashi. Along with the Ketu. Then the Kendra, there was no Graha present in it. Okay, now let's see about the Trikona. There was no Graha present in it. Okay, now let's see about the Kendra. 5th house here and the 9th house here. This is the here. Whenever there was a Graha present in the Kendra, that will increase your auspiciousness. But in the Trikona, if the Jupiter, the greatest auspicious Graha was present in it, that will increase the auspiciousness of the Jataka. In the 9th house, it increased, okay, here. Jupiter was present. So that also we have to keep that in. In the Trikona, Jupiter was placed. In the Kendra, there was no Graha placement. Okay. Then the Dasha Buddhi for him was currently it was in the Rahu, Mercury, and the Moon. Is it correct?
Yes, correct.
Whenever we read the chart, the Gocharam have to be ready. Why? We'll later on find out why we are giving this much importance to the Gocharam or not. Okay. But make it as a habit, have the Gocharam next to you. Birth chart we already have. Bhava chart, once we very much familiar with the birth chart, I ask you to go with the Bhava chart. Most of the time we go for the Bhava chart to make much more clarification. But at this point in time, concentrate only on the birth chart. So your first layer is your birth chart. Then keep that in mind as a back. In your back, you have to keep that in the mind of the Kala Purusha chart. Then the Dasha Buddhi Antar will have to be in your mind. And whenever you read the chart, any point in time, the current Dasha Buddhi have to be keep in your mind. So currently, whenever you read his chart, Rahu Dasha, Mercury Buddhi, Moon, that have to be in your mind. Okay. So which one you have to give much more importance? You have to give the Buddhinara, and that is the Mercury. So if you remember, Mercury is the Lagnadipati for him also. So 2 is the Lagna is the Kanni, Lagnadipati is the Mercury. So now he is under Buddhinada. Buddhinada is most of the time the Buddhinathan takes a power over the Dasha. Okay? Here, the Buddhinathan has the higher priority. Even though Rahu Dasha was happening, Mercury takes the priority over. Now let's see about. We already finished with this one, Kendra Trikona, Yoga Karaga. I leave it to you as a homework. If you didn't find, we will find it together from the next week. Okay? Graha combination also, we start from here to this one from next week. Okay? And we additionally we will study his first house also. So his chart is really good example. We can understand many things. So one important thing about it was no graha in. We saw about the Muralisar horoscope also. You remember there was no graha in his lagna. And importantly, there was a Dhanasthana Rahu was sitting. And in the 11th house, there is the multiple grahas. It's a wonderful combination to read. And I will tell you more story about the moon and Ketu. This I would say I did more research on this.
Actually,
You
three
know
of us
why?
in the class have.
Yeah, I am also one. But along with Mars, one more is added for me.
Us.
Moon, Ketu, and Mars is there with me.
Wow. Oh, then you escape. See, when
but
the moon and Ketu combined, when
Moon
the
is.
moon and Ketu,
Okay.
that
Yeah,
was the worst. This is the worst story. The moon Ketu combined, it is a worst story. And when some other planet was combined, you saved. It was somewhat you were really in the borderline, not. But we are in a deep trouble here when the moon Ketu combined. Because how I know this much? Because I have this combination.
Okay.
I'll tell you more about this when we read history. That's all about today. Any questions?
There is no difference between the bhava chart and the rasi chart in this case. It's exactly the same.
No, for you?
Yeah.
No, there was a difference. You want to see the bhava chart also? Okay.
Oh, okay.
And Vanita, whenever you have time, just can you tell me that Dasha Buddhi, like where with our current period, we need to check that current year, is it?
Russia, okay, give me a second. Let
Not
me.
today, whenever you have time only. No rush.
Okay. This one was open. Give me one second. I share that also. Can you able to see the chart, right?
Yeah.
Okay. For him, there are the different dasha system also available. Okay. Mostly much more popular. The people will believe this one was highly compatible with current day scenario. Then they go with the Vamshodhari dasha. Okay. Here, the lifetime of one human was divided into 120 years. So then they match with the different graha among this 120 years, then that's dividing into deeper days, into even the book per second also. So if you see in the Parashara chart, you can easily see in any of the software also, there was one column will come Vimshottari Dasha or the Dasha system. In Jagannath Hora also, there was one column for the Dasha system.
So that
And
will
there you will find here like this. The first one is a Dasha Buddhi. And
now
for
it
the
means Rahu
Parashara,
will be going to be there for 18 years for him. That is what we learned. Yeah?
Yeah. That people learned earlier, right? Everybody forgot that?
That's what I said. So, everywhere Rahu means first it is going to be for 18 years, it will continue like this from whenever it started.
See, the entire dasha is 18 years. So in that, there are the bhukti or antardasha.
Oh, the Mercury thing will change, is it?
It will get divided. So what Vanita has done, she has dig that deeper into Prayantar dasha, which is the third level.
Okay.
This one is, you got confused here, right? Okay, I already.
Venus and Sun and Venus coming, all that. Okay, I get it.
So it runs all the way till 35.
Okay, fine. So that is nicely split now into different. Okay.
Yeah. So this is the Rahu Dasha.
Vanita, what Ayanams are you using?
Lagari.
Lahari, okay.
I tried with a different one, but that was not exactly matching.
Yeah. Dr. Bala was actually telling us use Raman, but the timelines don't match.
Yes, correct.
Mm.
Yes, somewhat I'm comfortable with this one. I'm still using this, and whatever I'm saying, the people will say, okay, somewhat it's matching.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm
Jupiter.
also feeling
Okay.
I'm also feeling comfortable with this system, so I'm going with this. Let's see how the days goes on.
Okay.
If you see him when currently for the Parashara, it can the current Dashaputi was highlighted. The same goes for Jagannath, I guess. Every software which is having the same system, they will have this one column and put you into the Dasha Buddhi Antar, and there you can find out. See, for him, the Mercury Dasha will enter in the 27, right? Well, it was stopped.
December 27, yeah.
Mercury is over. Then some Ketu started, I think, from there.
Correct. The same
Nice.
goes for like that.
Yeah, okay.
Then the moon antar was still, it is going to finish on 25/8. Then it moves on to Mars. So the antar will also move. The buddhi is also move. The dasha will also move.
Which is having more percentage on for effect.
That's what I told you, right?
Sure.
The Buddhinathan makes the higher priority. See,
Okay.
when the second column, you have to give importance to the second column.
Okay.
In
Okay.
your current day-to-day life, who takes the priority? Buddhinathan takes the priority.
Fine. Okay.
Even though the Dashanathan was there. But
Okay.
if the story may differ, but most of the time, the Buddhinathan takes the priority over the Dashanathan.
Okay. Okay.
So whenever you read the Dasha Buddhi, you have to consider in such a way, okay, give priority to Buddhinathan, Dashanathan, then the Antar. Antar, the people will only go for to find out deeper details and want to make clarification in whatever they are reading. They are going so much deeper. I saw some of the people, they go deeper into the hour days and minutes. But
Okay.
it takes number of hours to finish the reading. Sometimes you may feel, okay, I'm done with this.
Okay.
You don't need to go that much.
Buddhi
Still, I would say in the beginning, you go with only Dasha Buddhi. That's
Dasha.
more than enough.
Okay, fine.
That's more than enough.
So much.
Yeah. The Antar, once you feel so much comfortable with the Dasha Buddhi, okay, I want to go a little bit deeper, then go with the Antar.
No. I
But
just want to know the important. What is that? That's thanks.
So all about today. We'll see you all next week then.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Vanita.
Thank you, Vanita.
Thank you, Vanita.
Thank you, Vanita.
Thank you.